testimony from Marco Rubio in front of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee confirmed the alarming fact that hundreds of millions of dollars is still sitting in a Qatari bank account, despite the fact that evidently the United States sold all of the oil for the benefit of the Venezuelan people, as well as the fact is there seems to be no statutory authority allowing the U.S. government to somehow control this money for Venezuela. All of that and more came out in the testimony because of the Democrats asking these very pointed questions. First was Senator Sheehan, who asked him, is it true that these money that was sold apparently for the Venezuelan people, that there is in fact $200 million of it still in a Qatari bank to this day? Take a listen.
Right. So it's been reported that the oil sold for $500 million, that $300 million went to Venezuelan government. What happened to the other $200 million?
It's still sitting in the account, is my understanding at this time.
The account in Qatar?
Well, the account, yes, but that will ultimately be that's a short-term account. Ultimately, it will be a U.S. Treasury blocked account in the United States.
And will it also be audited?
Correct. Well, the audit will be on the expenditures. At the front end, we'll tell them this is what the money can be spent on. Again, I'm not talking about all the other revenues the Venezuelan government may have. We're talking about the revenues from the sanctioned oil. At the front end, we will say this is what the allowable expenses are. And then they will agree to fund, as part of the overall cost, they will pay for and fund an audit system acceptable to us to ensure that that's how the money was spent.
There's so many alarming statements in Marco Rubio's answer. One is the fact that they do not plan on having an audit of how much has actually been received from the sale of the oil. If you notice, he just says that there will be an audit on the expenditures, basically an audit for how the money is going to be spent, not on how much it is received. The fact that it is in a Qatari bank means that there is going to be no accountability and no transparency about how much was even received by the United States in the sale that they coordinated for the Venezuelan people. Never mind the fact that for some reason, only 300 million of it has so far gone to Venezuela. Why have 200 million of it still sitting in a Qatari bank account? And again, this is just from reporting that there is that much. Marco Rubio seeming to concede that there is, in fact, that much. Now, if you take a look at the executive order that Trump put in place that basically is the groundwork for all of this, he issued the executive order on January 9th. It says that he is issuing this executive order in order to safeguard Venezuelan oil revenue for the good of the American people and the Venezuelan people, seemingly to introduce a concept that perhaps the oil could benefit the American people. Now, in this executive order, he put in a block, basically saying creditors have no access to this money. Marco Rubio in his testimony also said, we'll deal with the creditors later. Well, we'll see if they deal with them and how they decide to deal with them. But this executive order basically said creditors have no claim on this oil.